The What to Next podcast helps you build a TBR of future favorite books. In each episode, Lori and Maine interviews authors and book influencers to recommend books they loved for you to pick up today. If you're an avid reader, always looking for your next great read, then the show. Hi, Greer. Welcome to What to Next podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So happy to have you here. Tell us a little about yourself.
I am a dark, spicy romance author. I have dabbled in sports romance and I have written romantic suspense, but I'm thoroughly in the dark romance category right now. I have a wonderful husband who works with me, 2 fur babies, and I love Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Awesome. So in terms of dark romance, like start what led you to go into this niche and like how you define your dark romance? Is it heavy triggers or like the content?
Yeah. So I used to be a criminal lawyer. I prosecuted domestic violence and driving under the influence crimes, and I just have been in like a dark type of world before, I guess, that career-wise. And so whenever I first started writing, I realized that was something that just was in my writing. It was dark themes. And so while I was writing that, my first series, I realized that I needed to just kind of hone in on the dark stuff. And so that's how I got into dark romance. I think it would be defined as more heavy triggers, not heavy real life triggers, kind of. For example, my Phantom book has bipolar disorder representation in it. And for some people, mental health illness is something that triggers them if they're on their healing journey. And so I have triggers like that. And I would also say that my other books that are just romantic suspense also have a few triggers that are just real life kind of triggers.
There we go. All right, let's talk about Rouge. This is like retelling. So tell us a little bit of pitch and tell us about the process of writing the series.
Right. So I fell in love with the idea of writing happy ever afters for plays and stories that made me cry. And so this one was inspired by Moulin Rouge and Romeo and Juliet and Orpheus and Eurydice. And taking all 3 of those together, I made it a dark romance and gave them the tragic stories a happy ever after. And so now it also has modern day Las Vegas and secret society Irish mafia vibes. There's a secret/forced marriage. It's got a ton of stuff in there that has all those 3 classic stories and just combines them like that.
I love this. So did you plot it out or are you a pantser? Did you write it and see what it comes up?
I am thoroughly convinced that I'm a plotter, but I always end up being a pantser. Okay. I will write an outline that is, gorgeous and 15 pages long. And then whenever I get to chapter 5, it's like, gotta go.
Yeah.
So I now more so follow a free thought kind of process, a free flowing process. And so I like to do things like write by hand. And I like to use sprinting. So my brain has to go to a place where it just thinks on its own. And I don't have to really worry about sentence structure and everything, which means that my writing is actually pretty quick, but my editing process is huge.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. Yeah. It's a whole process of trying to identify what works for you and taking the action and then seeing does it work this way? Because some books may work one way and other books may be completely different, through everything that you did and out the window,
Yes, absolutely. I have written, I think this is my 9th book at this point. And because we're not counting the one that I wrote like years ago that
Yeah.
is not published, will not see the light of day.
Yeah.
But every single book has had a completely different process.
Yeah.
So this one was part handwritten, part dictated, and then part sprinted. And so
Mhm.
that's how this one was made. And then
There we go.
edited to high heaven.
There we go. All right, so let's track some book recommendations. What kind of books do you tend to read?
I am a huge mood reader, but I will admit I haven't really read fiction in a long time.
Mhm.
Um, but I will read anything romance.
Mhm.
And I love dark romance. I love fantasy romance. And I love PNR and fantasy and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like dark romance is because you can get this animalistic type of behavior from a
Mhm.
male main character that you can't really get in contemporary or sports because it kind of sets the vibe off a little bit, but you can
Mhm.
get that in dark romance. He's growly, he's anti-hero and stuff. And I think that's why I like dark romance because it's kind of you can get a similar hero to what you would get in PNR and fantasy. And those are the ones that I really love too.
I love it. Do you have any books to recommend our listeners to pick up?
Yes. So my favorite series ever in the whole wide world. And I haven't read it in a decade probably, but I love telling people about it. It's Karen Marie Moning's Fever series.
Mhm.
It's got the Scottish Highlands, it's got time travel, it's got fantasy romance. It's perfect for fairy lovers, fairy romance lovers. I love that series. And it was my it was my first fantasy romance, I'm pretty sure. And so that's what got me into fantasy romance is that series.
I love this. Do you tell us where you can find you online?
Oh, yeah. So I'm on TikTok. I have a website. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm author Greer Rivers everywhere. Um, and I love TikTok. I haven't been really good at it lately because I've been in the writing cave. I still have a Christmas tree up. So that's how that's how in the cave I have been. I haven't really foregone everything else that I need to do.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited for your future work. So
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you, Greer, for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
If you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share with friends, subscribe, rate, and review the show. This is the easiest way to support the podcast. For a list of books mentioned and other romance recommendations, please visit whattoreadnextblog.com. Did you know you can purchase audiobooks directly from your favorite local bookstore? With Libro.fm, you can pick up more than 250,000 audiobooks, including bestsellers and recommendations from real booksellers. You'll get the same audiobooks at the same price as the largest audiobook company, you know the name, but you'll be part of a different story, one that supports your local community. If you're new to audiobooks, there's a perfect way to squeeze into more reading into your busy life. Listen with the free Libro.fm app while you do your chores, walk your dog, relax at home. The Watch to Read Next podcast has a special offer for our listeners. Get 2 audiobooks on Libro FM for the price of 1 with your first month of membership. Use code WhatToReadNext. This offer is only valid for new members in Canada and the US. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.